The night sky was burning. Alien warships floated above the ruined colony like black clouds, their engines humming with cold power. Fires spread across the ground as humans ran, screamed, and fell. The air was filled with smoke, broken walls, and the cries of those who could not escape. In the middle of this chaos, a small baby cried. His tiny voice was lost under the thunder of alien guns. A tall alien soldier, his armor glowing with red light, looked down at the baby. To him, the child was nothing, a weak creature, fragile and useless. He picked the baby up, sneered, and then threw him aside like a piece of trash. The child landed near a pile of broken stone. He cried louder, but no one came. The aliens marched on, destroying everything in their path. For them, the war was not about the weak. It was about power. And a helpless human baby had no value. But the stars had other plans. Far away, hidden deep inside a mountain cave, something ancient stirred. The sound of the baby's cry carried like a whisper across the land. It reached ears that had not heard humans for centuries. Eyes opened in the darkness, eyes burning with golden fire. The dragons were awake. Inside the cave, massive shapes shifted. Scales glowed faintly like embers. Wings stretched, shaking dust from the stone ceiling. These were not just beasts. They were guardians of an age long forgotten, creatures of flame and storm who once ruled the skies before men and aliens built their machines. For centuries they had slept, waiting for a sign. Now they heard it. A cry. Weak, small, but filled with life. The golden dragon lowered its head. Its voice rumbled like thunder. A child. The silver dragon hissed softly, her eyes sharp. A human. Why should we care for one of them? They forgot us. They hunted us. But the golden dragon did not turn away. His gaze burned brighter. No. This one is different. Can you not feel it? He is abandoned, yet the fire clings to him. Destiny calls. The others were silent. The cry grew weaker in the distance. And so, the golden dragon spread his mighty wings. He rose into the night sky, following the sound. On the battlefield, the baby lay under broken stones. Ash fell from the burning sky. His voice was fading. The shadow of a dragon passed over him. With a single beat of its wings, the golden dragon landed. The earth shook under his weight. The aliens nearby froze. Some screamed. Others raised their weapons. But before they could fire, the dragon roared. Flames poured from his jaws, burning the ground like a river of fire. The aliens scattered, their machines crumbling under the storm. The golden dragon lowered his head and looked at the baby. So small. So fragile. But the child's eyes, wet with tears, reflected the dragon's fire. The dragon felt the bond stir. Ancient magic moved, the kind that tied dragon and rider as one. The baby reached out with his tiny hand, touching the scale that glowed like the sun. And the bond was made. The silver dragon arrived soon after, her wings slicing through the smoke. She looked down and hissed again. This is foolish. He will only bring death to us. The golden dragon curled around the child, his massive body shielding him from the flames. No. He is not just a child. He is a seed of fire. If left, he dies. If kept, he may rise. The silver dragon's eyes softened as she saw the baby's hand resting against the golden scale. The bond was alive. It could not be undone. And so, against her doubt, she stayed. The aliens regrouped. Their ships circled above, weapons charging. They were not afraid of humans, but dragons, they feared them. Orders echoed through the alien ranks. Kill it! Kill the beast! Bolts of red fire shot from the sky, striking the mountain ground. Explosions lit the night, tearing apart stone and trees. The dragons roared back, flames meeting fire. The battle between ancient scales and alien steel had begun. The baby did not cry anymore. Safe inside the golden dragon's wing, he closed his eyes and slept. The world outside shook with war, but he was no longer alone. Hours later, silence fell. The mountain was scarred, the air heavy with smoke. The aliens had pulled back, their fleets moving on to strike elsewhere. The dragons returned to their hidden cave, carrying the baby with them. The golden dragon placed the child gently on a bed of stone and whispered in his deep voice. You were thrown away as nothing. But here, you will be something. You will be fire. You will be bond. You will not be forgotten. The silver dragon looked down at the sleeping baby and sighed. If he lives, the future will change. For better or worse. The golden dragon closed his eyes. So be it. Destiny has chosen. In the quiet of the cave, the baby slept peacefully. His tiny chest rose and fell. His hand still rested on the glowing scale, as if he never wanted to let go. The dragons watched over him, their eyes shining in the dark. Outside, the stars burned with war. Inside the cave, a legend was beginning. The abandoned child, thrown away like nothing, had been found. And the world would never be the same. The cave was warm, filled with the smell of smoke and stone. Outside, the world burned with alien fire. But inside, the baby was safe. The golden dragon curled around him, his scales glowing like a dying sun. The silver dragon kept her sharp eyes open, watching the shadows. They were guardians now, not of treasure, but of life. The baby was no longer just a human child. He was bonded. As days passed, the child grew. He could not yet walk, but he crawled across the stone floor, his tiny hands touching the scales of his guardians. When he laughed, it was like sparks in the cave. The golden dragon watched him with patience. He learns quickly. He is fireborn. The silver dragon still doubted. He is fragile. Human bones break. Human hearts fail. But when the boy reached out to her one day, placing his small hand on her claw, something in her chest softened. The bond was not only with the golden one, it was spreading. And she could not deny it. Years turned like pages of a book. The child became a boy. His hair dark like ash, his eyes bright like embers. He ran barefoot across the stone, fearless, his laughter echoing in the great halls of the dragon's lair. He did not speak words of men at first. Instead, he spoke in growls, in roars, in whispers of flame. The dragons taught him their language, the language of storms, the tongue of ancient fire. When he called, sparks danced in the air. When he listened, the mountains seemed to breathe. But though he grew strong, he was lonely. He had no humans around him. He did not know what it was like to see another face like his own. At night, he looked into the pool of water and touched his reflection. "Who am I?" he whispered. The golden dragon lowered his head. "You are ours." The silver dragon added, "But you are also something more. You are human, yet not only human. You are between worlds." The boy did not understand then, but the words stayed with him like shadows. One day, the dragons took him outside. The mountains stretched wide, their peaks cutting the sky. The air was sharp with wind, filled with the smell of pine and ash. The boy stood on a cliff, his hair blowing wildly. For the first time, he saw the horizon. Endless. Vast. Waiting. The golden dragon spoke. "One day, you will ride the skies." The boy's eyes widened. "Ride, you?" The golden dragon rumbled a laugh, like distant thunder. "Not now. You are still small. But when the bond is ready, when your fire awakens fully, you will fly with us." The boy's heart raced. He could already feel it, the pull of the sky, the hunger of wings. Training began. At first, the boy learned simple things: how to climb stones, how to balance on the dragon's broad back while they stood still, how to run without fear of falling. Then, the lessons grew harder. He learned to hold fire in his hand without burning. He learned to roar with his chest, his voice carrying power that shook the cave. And finally, he learned to command. The golden dragon would lower his head. The boy placed his hand on the scale and spoke the bond word. At once, his mind filled with the dragon's thoughts, vast, endless, ancient. It was overwhelming. He fell to the ground, clutching his head. But he stood again. Tried again. And again. The silver dragon watched silently. She did not praise him, but in her heart, pride began to grow. Yet peace never lasted long. The aliens returned. Not near the cave, not yet, but their ships were seen in the distance, burning villages, stealing humans as slaves. The boy saw the smoke one day from the cliff. He gripped the stone, his teeth clenched. "Why do they do this?" he asked. The golden dragon's eyes burned with sorrow. "Because they believe only in power. To them, the weak are nothing. Just as they once threw you away." The boy's fists trembled. "Then I will make them fear me." The silver dragon hissed softly. "Fear is not enough. You must be more than fire. You must be wise." The boy said nothing, but in his heart, a flame began to grow. That night, he dreamed. He saw the aliens again, tall and cruel. He saw himself standing before them, no longer small, but tall and strong, fire blazing in his hands. Behind him, dragons filled the sky, their wings covering the stars. And the aliens bowed. He woke with his heart racing, sweat on his face. The golden dragon's voice echoed in his mind. Dreams are not just dreams. They are whispers of what may come. The boy's training grew even harder. He learned to run across the dragon's back while it moved. He learned to leap from rock to rock as if the ground were fire. He learned to hold the bond for longer, guiding the dragon's breath, shaping its flame. And once, just once, the golden dragon lifted into the sky with the boy on his back. The wind tore at him. The ground fell away. His arms clung tight to the scales. Terror and joy mixed in his chest. He screamed, not in fear, but in pure freedom. They soared above the mountains. The world below looked small, weak, breakable. But up here, in the sky, he felt untouchable. For the first time, he understood what it meant to be chosen. Yet even in that joy, shadows waited. From the horizon, black shapes moved. Alien ships. Watching. Hunting. The boy did not see them. But the silver dragon did. Her eyes narrowed. They know he lives. They will come again. The golden dragon said nothing. He only looked at the boy, his small figure clinging to his back as he laughed in the sky. Let them come, he whispered. The child is not ready yet, but he will be. The boy landed on the cliff, his eyes bright with fire. He was no longer the abandoned child. He was something more. Raised not by men, but by fire and scale. And destiny was waiting for him. The boy had grown taller. His steps were strong, his arms steady. His hair, once soft and short, now fell wild over his face. His eyes glowed faintly, like embers waiting to burn. The dragons had raised him well. He could climb cliffs faster than goats. He could run across the mountain paths without stumbling. And when he placed his hand on golden scales, fire moved through him like blood. But the world outside was not quiet. The aliens had returned. From the top of the cliffs, the boy watched black ships pass through the clouds. Their engines hummed like thunder. Their lights glowed red, painting the sky with menace. He clenched his fists. It's them. The golden dragon lowered his head. Yes. The same who threw you away. The same who burn villages and chain humans. The silver dragon growled. They come for us now. They hunt dragons. They fear our fire. The boy's heart pounded. All his life he had trained. All his life he had waited. Now the enemy was here. But was he ready? That night, flames burned in the distance. Villages at the foot of the mountains were under attack. The cries of humans carried up into the caves. The boy could not stay still. His blood boiled. He turned to the golden dragon. Take me there. The dragon's eyes glowed. If we go, there will be war. There already is war, the boy shouted. If we hide, they will kill everyone. If we fight, maybe someone will live. The silver dragon hissed. You are not ready. You are still only half of what you must become. The boy's voice cracked but did not break. Then let me become whole tonight. The cave fell silent. The golden dragon finally nodded. So be it. We fly. The night split open with fire. The golden dragon soared into the burning sky, the boy clinging to his back. The silver dragon followed, her wings slicing the smoke. The air trembled with their roars. Below, aliens stormed through the village. Their machines crushed homes, their weapons burned fields. Humans ran in terror, powerless against the Empire's soldiers. Then the dragons came. Flames poured down like rivers of light, melting steel, scattering soldiers. The ground shook under the storm of wings. The villagers looked up, their eyes wide with shock and awe. They had heard legends of dragons, but they had never believed. Now they saw a boy riding one. The aliens fought back. Their ships fired bolts of red fire into the sky. Explosions burst around the dragons. The boy's ears rang, his chest pounded. He almost lost his grip. The golden dragon roared. Hold fast. The boy placed his hand on the scale and shouted the bond word. At once, his mind filled with the dragon's thoughts. He felt the heat of its fire, the strength of its wings. Left, the boy shouted. The dragon veered aside, dodging a blast. Now! Burn them! Fire erupted, striking an alien machine and tearing it apart. The boy's heart raced. He was no longer just a rider, he was commanding. The silver dragon dove, her claws slicing through soldiers. The boy leapt from the golden dragon's back onto her neck, moving as if he had done it 1,000 times. Together, they struck the enemy's largest machine. For a moment, the aliens faltered. They had never faced this. A human, commanding dragons. Fear spread through their ranks. But then, from the largest ship above, a new weapon descended. A shadow fell over the battlefield. The machine dragon landed with a crash. Its body was made of black steel, its wings powered by engines, its eyes glowing red. It opened its jaws and fire poured out, not true flame, but plasma, hot enough to melt stone. The boy froze. His heart pounded with dread. "What is that?" he whispered. The silver dragon snarled. "They built it. A false one. A mockery of us." The golden dragon's eyes burned brighter. "It is the Empire's answer to us. A dragon of steel." The machine roared, and the ground split. The villagers screamed. The aliens cheered. And the boy knew, this was not just a raid. This was war. The battle turned fierce. The golden dragon clashed with the machine, fire against plasma. The silver dragon darted around its steel wings, slashing but leaving only sparks. The boy shouted commands, his voice shaking but strong. "Strike the joints! Hit the wings!" The dragons obeyed, their bond guiding them. But the machine was relentless. It did not bleed. It did not tire. Its claws tore the ground, its fire melted everything in its path. The boy's chest ached. His bond strained. He felt every wound his dragons took. Still, he would not stop. "This is my fight too," he cried. The battle raged until dawn. The village lay in ruins, but the aliens pulled back. Their soldiers retreated to their ships, taking the steel dragon with them. The ground was black with ash. The people wept, for their dead, but also for the sight they had witnessed. The boy stood among them, his clothes burned, his hands shaking. The villagers looked at him with wide eyes. "Who is he?" someone whispered. Another answered, voice trembling. "The boy who rides dragons. The Dragon Commander." The name spread like fire. The boy looked at the villagers. For the first time, he saw humans looking at him not as an outcast, not as forgotten, but as hope. The golden dragon lowered his head. "It begins now. They know you live. They will come for you again." The boy clenched his fists, fire burning in his eyes. "Then let them come. I will not run." He looked at the ruined village, at the people who had nothing left. "I was thrown away once. I will not let them throw anyone else away." The dragons roared, their voices shaking the mountains. And the boy, no longer just a child, stood tall. The war for destiny had begun. The village was quiet after the battle. Smoke rose from broken homes, and the smell of ash filled the air. People sat on the ground, their faces pale, their eyes heavy with fear. The boy stood among them, his clothes torn, his arms scratched, but his eyes burned with fire. He looked at the ruins and felt the weight of their pain. These were his people. His kind. Humans. And for the first time, they looked at him not with pity, not with doubt, but with hope. The golden dragon spoke softly, his voice deep as thunder. "They see you now. They name you leader. But names are easy. True command is hard." The boy turned his gaze to the villagers. Mothers held their children close. Old men sat broken. Young men stared at the ground, shame in their eyes. No one moved. No one believed they could fight. The boy's chest tightened. He could not fight alone. Dragons were strong, but even dragons could be defeated. The aliens would return with more machines, with more fire. He had to make the people rise. That night, he climbed a broken wall and stood where everyone could see him. The golden dragon curled behind him, glowing like a living mountain. The silver dragon perched on a half-burned roof, her eyes sharp. The boy raised his voice. "They came to destroy us. To burn our homes. To chain us like slaves. But we are still here. We are not broken." His voice shook at first, but then it grew steady, strong, filled with the bond of dragon fire. "They threw me away when I was a baby. They thought I was nothing. But I lived. I learned. I became more than what they feared. I became a rider." The villagers whispered among themselves, staring at the boy standing tall beside dragons. He pointed toward the sky, where the alien ships had vanished hours ago. "They will come again. With more fire. With more machines. But if we kneel, we are already dead. If we fight, we have a chance to live. A chance to win. Not just for us, but for all humans across the stars. The people were silent. Some lowered their eyes. Some clenched their fists. A child shouted first. "Dragon Commander!" The word spread again, louder this time. Soon, the villagers were chanting it, voices rising against the silence of fear. "Dragon Commander! Dragon Commander!" The boy's chest swelled. He was not just a rider now. He was their leader. This was his first command. The days that followed were not easy. The villagers had never fought soldiers with plasma weapons. They had never faced machines of steel. But the boy trained them. He taught them how to move quickly through forests, how to hide in shadows, how to strike from above. With the dragons, they learned to use fire and stone as weapons. The golden dragon taught them courage. The silver dragon taught them speed. And the boy taught them hope. One night, while the villagers practiced with spears, the boy sat with the golden dragon near the mountain cliffs. The stars shone above, cold and endless. "Do you think we can win?" he asked quietly. The golden dragon looked at him with burning eyes. "War is not won in a day. But you have something the aliens do not." "What is that?" "A heart that was broken and yet burns brighter than before. That is power." The boy placed his hand on the dragon's scales. The bond pulsed, steady and warm. "I will not let them take this world," he whispered. "Not while I live." The chance to test his words came sooner than he expected. A week later, alien scouts returned. Small ships descended near the forest, searching for survivors, searching for dragons. The boy gathered his fighters. Their hands shook, but their eyes no longer carried only fear. "This is our chance," he said. "We show them we are not weak. We strike first." The villagers nodded. They were ready to follow. The ambush began at dawn. The aliens marched through the forest, their weapons glowing red. But the humans were waiting. From the trees, rocks and arrows rained down. From the shadows, villagers leapt with spears. For every weapon the aliens fired, 2 more humans struck back. Then came the dragons. The silver dragon swooped low, her wings tearing through branches, scattering soldiers like dust. The golden dragon roared, fire spilling across the ground, turning machines into molten ruins. And at the center of it all was the boy, shouting commands, his voice guiding both dragons and humans like one body. "Now! To the left! Strike the leader!" They obeyed. For the first time, humans and dragons fought as one. The aliens pulled back, retreating to their ships. They had lost scouts, soldiers, and machines to villagers who once had nothing but fear. The boy watched them flee, his chest heaving, his heart racing. The villagers cheered, raising their weapons high. "We fought them!" someone shouted. "We won!" The boy raised his hand. "This was only the beginning. They will return, stronger, angrier. But we showed them today, we are not nothing. We are not slaves. We are warriors." The golden dragon lowered his head beside him, fire glowing in his chest. And in that moment, the boy knew, he had given his first true command. And they had followed. The fight for freedom had begun. The forest smelled of smoke and victory. For the first time, the villagers had defeated alien soldiers. They had hope in their eyes. They had pride in their voices. But the boy did not smile. He stood on the cliffs, looking at the night sky. Stars glittered above, but in his heart, there was unease. "They will not forgive us," he whispered. "The Empire never forgets." The golden dragon shifted beside him. "You are right. Their pride is broken. They will come with something greater." The silver dragon hissed, her tail lashing. "We wounded them. Now they will send the beast of steel." The boy's chest tightened. He remembered the burning eyes, the iron wings, the roar that shook the ground. The machine dragon. It was not dead. It was waiting. 2 nights later, the sky tore open. A massive ship entered the atmosphere, larger than any before. Its shadow stretched across mountains and rivers. And from its belly fell the monster. The steel dragon. It landed with a thunderous crash, claws sinking into stone. Its wings unfolded, each one wider than a village. Its eyes glowed red like burning coals. The humans gasped in terror. The villagers dropped their weapons. The boy clenched his fists. He could feel the fire inside him answering the challenge. "This time," he said, "we do not run." The battle began at dawn. The golden dragon flew high, flames pouring from his mouth. The silver dragon darted low, slashing at the machine's legs. The boy rode between them, shouting commands. Left wing. Now. Strike the joints. But the steel dragon was built to destroy. Its plasma breath melted trees into ash. Its claws sliced rocks like paper. Every strike from the real dragons left only sparks. The boy felt the bond tremble. His dragons were strong, but their fire could not melt steel. Their claws could not tear iron. For the first time, fear crept into his heart. The villagers tried to help. From the cliffs, they launched stones, spears, and fire arrows. But the machine barely noticed. It turned its head and unleashed a blast of plasma. An entire ridge exploded in fire, sending humans screaming. No! The boy shouted, rage burning through him. He pressed his hand against the golden dragon scales, feeling the bond pulse. Together! The dragon roared, flame brighter than ever before pouring into the sky. The boy's chest burned with the same fire, as if his heart and the dragon's heart were one. For a moment, the steel beast staggered. Its armor glowed hot. But then it straightened. It was not enough. The silver dragon swooped behind the machine, striking at its wings. Sparks flew, pieces of metal clattered to the ground. The boy's hope rose. Yes. Break its wings. But the steel dragon moved with terrible speed. Its iron tail whipped around, slamming into the silver dragon's chest. She screamed, crashing into the trees below. Silver! The boy cried out, his heart twisting with pain. He could feel her struggle, her breath weak. The golden dragon growled. She still breathes. But she cannot rise again soon. The boy's eyes burned with fury. Then it's just us. The steel dragon rose into the air, its engines roaring. The golden dragon followed, wings beating hard. The two giants clashed in the sky, fire against plasma, scale against steel. The boy clung to the dragon's back, his voice carrying over the roar of battle. Strike the joints. Go for the neck. The golden dragon obeyed, his claws tearing into the machine's shoulder. Sparks flew, metal bent. The boy's hope flared again. But the steel dragon roared, its plasma breath striking point blank. Fire exploded. The golden dragon reeled, smoke rising from his scales. The boy nearly fell. His hands burned, his heart pounded. No, no, we can't lose. The bond burned hotter than ever. The boy felt it deep in his bones, deeper than blood. His vision blurred, but in that blur, he saw something new. Not just one fire. Many. The dragons of old. Their voices whispered inside him. Their fire flowed into him. You are not alone, they said. You carry us all. The boy raised his hand. Flames wrapped around his arm like a living weapon. His eyes blazed brighter than the stars. He shouted, his voice shaking the sky. Now, golden, burn with me. The golden dragon unleashed his fire, but this time it was different. It was not only his flame, it was the boy's fire too. A storm of living light poured forth, hotter than anything the steel dragon had faced. The machine shrieked, metal glowing red, joints melting under the blaze. Its iron wings cracked, its chest split with sparks. The boy screamed with fury and pain, pouring everything he had into the fire. At last, the steel dragon fell. It crashed into the valley, shattering stone, smoke pouring from its broken body. The villagers cheered, their voices echoing through the mountains. The boy slid from the golden dragon's back, his knees weak, his body trembling. The silver dragon limped from the forest, her wings torn but her eyes still sharp. She lowered her head beside him. You fought as one, she whispered. Not rider and dragon. Not servant and master. But equal. That is why you lived. The boy clenched his fist. His fire still glowed faintly. He looked at the broken steel beast, then at the sky where alien ships still hovered far away. They will send more, he said. Bigger. Stronger. But I will be ready. The golden dragon lowered his head. You are no longer just a boy. You are a commander of dragons. And one day, you will be more. The villagers knelt before him, their voices rising in one cry. Dragon Commander! And the boy, though scarred and weary, stood tall against the horizon. The Empire had tested him with steel. But he had answered with fire. And fire was not so easily broken. The broken body of the steel dragon still smoked in the valley. Its wings, once strong and sharp, now lay twisted and black. The villagers stood around it in awe, whispering about the boy who had fought with dragons and fire. But the boy did not celebrate. He stared at the wreck, his chest rising and falling. His fire still burned, but weaker now. He knew this was not the end. Above, the alien fleet hovered like silent predators. They had seen everything. They had seen their weapon fail. And they would not forgive. The golden dragon rumbled beside him. They test us. The next time, it will be war, not just one beast. The silver dragon limped forward, her wounds deep but her eyes shining. And when that war comes, all humans must rise. Not only this village, but every village, every world. The boy clenched his fists. His eyes glowed with fire, and his voice was steady. Then I will rise too. Not as a servant. Not as an outcast. But as their commander. That night, the boy walked among the people. The villagers gathered, their faces lit by firelight, waiting for him to speak. He looked at them, not with pride, but with responsibility. I was thrown away, he said. The aliens believed I was nothing. But I lived. I found family in dragons. I found strength in fire. And now I know my purpose. He raised his hand, flames flickering around his fingers. I will not fight only for myself. I will fight for every human who was ever chained. For every world the Empire tried to break. For every child they threw away. The villagers cheered, their voices trembling with belief. Dragon Commander! Dragon Commander! The chant shook the night, echoing into the mountains. The golden dragon spoke to him when the crowd had gone quiet. You have begun a war that will not end soon. Do you accept this path? The boy looked at the stars, at the Empire's ships glimmering far above. Yes, he said. Because this is not just about me. This is about destiny. The days turned into weeks. Word of the battle spread beyond the village. Messengers carried stories of the boy who commanded dragons, who defeated the Empire's machine. Other humans came, broken survivors from faraway towns, asking to fight under his banner. The boy welcomed them all. He trained them, just as he had trained the first villagers. He taught them to move with speed, to fight with courage, to trust the fire within themselves. And always, the dragons were with him, guardians, teachers, and family. But peace did not last. One morning, the sky darkened as alien warships filled the horizon. Hundreds of them, larger than anything the villagers had seen. Their engines thundered, their weapons glowed. The people trembled. The boy stood at the front, fire burning in his eyes. The golden dragon lowered his head so the boy could climb onto his back. The silver dragon spread her wounded wings, ready to rise again. The villagers looked at him with fear. Can we win? One whispered. The boy heard them. He turned, his voice loud and steady. We may not win today. We may not win tomorrow. But we will fight. We will show them that humans are not weak, not forgotten. We are fire. And fire cannot be crushed. The crowd roared, courage flooding their hearts. The alien fleet descended. The first ships fired, bolts of red tearing into the mountains. The ground shook, flames erupted. But the boy did not falter. Now, he shouted. The golden dragon roared, leaping into the sky. The silver dragon followed, her voice echoing through the clouds. Together, they charged into the storm. The battle was chaos. Fire and plasma clashed in the sky. Dragons struck ships, tearing through metal with claws and flame. Humans fought on the ground, striking at soldiers, defending their homes. The boy's voice carried above it all, guiding his army, guiding his dragons. Left wing. Burn the engines. Protect the people. The bond between him and the dragons blazed stronger than ever. He no longer felt like a rider, he felt like part of them. His heart beat with theirs. His fire was their fire. For every strike the aliens made, the boy answered with flame. At the peak of the battle, the largest ship descended. Bigger than a mountain, its weapons glowing like suns. The boy's fire flared, brighter than ever before. His eyes glowed white, his body surrounded by flame. This is the moment, he whispered. This is destiny. The golden dragon roared. The silver dragon screamed. Together, they soared into the sky, higher and higher, until they faced the Empire's great ship. The boy raised both hands, fire swirling like a storm. For every human they tried to break, for every child they threw away. He unleashed it all. A storm of fire, brighter than the dawn, engulfed the ship. The sky exploded with light. When the flames cleared, Silence fell. The great ship was gone, torn apart by fire and will. The Empire's fleet broke, scattering in panic. One by one, their ships fled into the stars. The villagers stared upward, their mouths open, their hearts pounding. They had seen a boy command dragons. They had seen a boy destroy an empire's might. No longer forgotten. No longer nothing. The boy descended with his dragons, his body weak, his fire dim. The people rushed to him, raising their hands in praise. "The Dragon Commander," they cried. "Our legend." The boy looked at them, his chest heavy with both pride and sorrow. He knew the war was not over. The Empire would return. Greater enemies would come. But he also knew something else. He was no longer a servant. He was fire. He was legend. And this was only the beginning.